Hi and welcome to this video. Today we're just going to concentrate on the employment history and the education sections of the CV. Now this video is targeted particularly for those who are aged really 14 to 18. So if you're creating the CV for the first time or you're just looking to enhance what you have, then this is the video for you. So first step, employment. Now, don't worry if you don't have any experience. What we do is we'd leave this section blank or it'll be completely removed. So if you watch the previous video, that's why we concentrate on skills to help you gain your first experience, or whether it's work experience, whether it's a part-time job. But however, when you start to gain more experience, this is where you detail it. And the first step is just to enter the name. And this could be, for example, Tesco or Halfords. And obviously you put their name there. Then you write the job title, so whether that's retail assistant, whether it's IT assistant. And the second bit is dates. So for example, if you started in September and it's now June, you would just put September to present because you're still working there. However, if it was a short-term placement and it was September to October, then just put September to October 2017 or 18 or 16, whatever those dates may be. And again, all you're doing here is just detailing what you actually did. So again, if you remember from the example, the job description, and how we've progressed that through by talking about personal profile and skills, this particular person has experience of that job. And this is a key reminder for you. It's all well and good having part-time jobs. We all have them when we're younger. But what you've got to be thinking about is your long-term goal. So for example, if that long-term goal is to be an engineer or it's to work in IT or sales, what you need to be thinking of is what experience can I gain that is actually relevant? Because in a couple of years' time, when you actually come to apply for those particular jobs, when you've left school or university, that's what employers want to see, is relevant work experience, relevant skills. So always bear that in mind. The second part then of this video is the education. And again, very similar to employment history, write your school there and the dates that you attended. And again, if you started in September 2012 and you're still in school now, then put September 2012 to present. Again, two schools of thought with this bit. And if you have excellent grades, then detail them. No problem with that at all. Just keep on listing and keep adding qualifications. If you're year 10 and 11, this is where you would put predicted. Again, this is a common question, is what happens if I haven't actually completed the qualifications yet? We kind of realize that, so just put in predicted. The third part is what happens if you haven't achieved the grades that you thought you would do. Sometimes there's unforeseen circumstances, sometimes school isn't necessarily for you, you don't necessarily understand, or you've given it your best shot and you feel a little bit embarrassed by your qualifications. So if that does happen, you can just put educated to GCSE standard or A-level standard, whatever it is that you've studied, and then put in a range of grades. So that kind of works well if you, as I say, are embarrassed about a particular grade. And what you can also add to this is maybe that you've gone on to college, maybe that you've gone on to an apprenticeship, maybe that you've left school to pursue a particular career path. So just to kind of recap on that, three kind of schools of thought on this. Number one, if you're in year 10 or 11, haven't obviously sat your exams yet, you would just put in predicted for each grade, and it could be A, B, C, D. Obviously the current grade system now is from 1 to 9. So whatever you want to put in there. Obviously employers are familiar with grades and are probably still getting used to the equivalents of 3 to 9 or 4 to 9 or 5 for a B. So bear that in mind. And the last point really is to cover the GCSE if you haven't achieved that particular level. Again, same for A-level, just educated to GCSE standard or A-level standard, and use a range to kind of help you kind of cover up maybe some of the mistakes that you've made. Because again, sometimes we don't necessarily achieve the grades for whatever reason that we set out to do. So just to recap both sections, make sure you detail your work experience. Again, don't worry if leave this section or delete this section if you haven't got any work experience. Detail the names and obviously your job title, and it's exactly the same in the education section. Write your school name, write the dates you attended, and then appropriately, or where appropriately, is enter your grades, whether both predicted, whether you've actually got those grades, or whether you want to kind of, as I say, cover up maybe some of the mistakes that you've made and talk about your career path and where you're going. That is equally as good as well. So I hope that makes sense. And thanks for watching this video. And now we'll move on to the next one.